On the morning of January 6, 2025 at 11:15 a.m., a man named David Mora was sitting on his apartment balcony, enjoying the views of the Pacific Ocean. Like any other day, it seemed like a normal morning. Suddenly, about 5 miles away in the Pacific Palisades Hills, he saw flames and sparks. Within just 1 hour, the fire spread so fast that the smoke covered the mountain completely. From a satellite view, the fire was first seen in the hills of Pacific Palisades, but after just a few hours, it spread to areas like Eatonhurst, Kenneth Getty, Skirball, and San Fernando. At the time the fire started, winds were blowing at 100 kilometers per hour, moving from inland toward the ocean. Now here's the big question. If the fire started near Pacific Palisades, close to the ocean, how did it spread 30 to 40 kilometers inland against the wind direction? In this video, we'll find out. This fire destroyed a total of 38,000 acres, about 150 square kilometers. Over 12,000 buildings and homes were destroyed, and 180,000 people had to leave their homes. This is the most destructive fire in Los Angeles history, and even as we make this video, it hasn't been fully put out. All efforts to stop it have been failing. Water bombers are dumping 45,000 liters of water at once, but it seems like just a few drops compared to the size of the fire. They're also using special chemicals to try to stop it, but nature is still winning. California is already facing water shortages, so fire hydrants are often empty. The fire spread across 7 areas, so firefighters and their equipment were divided. When winds blowing at 70 to 100 kilometers per hour hit the fire got even worse. Before we figure out why the fire in Los Angeles happened, let's look at other wildfires in California over the years. In the past 25 years, California has been a hotspot for wildfires. In 2003, the Cedar Fire in San Diego burned 27,000 acres. The fire started on October 25th and ended on November 4th. In 2017, the Tubbs Fire burned 36,000 acres. That year, the Thomas Fire burned 280,000 acres and started in December, ending in January. On November 8th, 2018, the Camp Fire burned 500,000 acres, lasting for 17 days. In 2020, the Glass Fire burned 67,000 acres starting in September and ending in October. One thing is common in all these fires. They occurred in the winter months, and the current Los Angeles fire is also happening in the winter. So why do most wildfires in California happen in winter? The answer lies in a phenomenon called Santa Ana winds. Yes, Santa Ana winds are hot, dry winds that blow during autumn and winter. In Southern California and Baja California, looking at the Earth to the east of California, there is a vast desert area called the Mojave Desert or the Great Basin. The sun heats the desert, which increases the air pressure. We learned in 6th grade that air moves from high pressure to low pressure, and the greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air will travel. In this case, from the southeast of California, Santa Ana winds move quickly toward the ocean. These hot, dry winds suck moisture from wherever they pass, making the entire region dry during the season. Shrubs and trees dry out, making them highly susceptible to catching fire. Santa Ana winds turn entire forests into fuel for wildfires. And if a fire starts by accident, these strong winds make it spread even faster. The burning embers travel rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, the wildfire can go out of control. Now the fire should spread in the same direction as the wind, but in the case of Los Angeles, it was completely the opposite. The fire was first seen near Palisades, close to the ocean, and then it spread to inland areas. To understand why, we need to look at another interesting phenomenon called mountain wave rotor. The side of the mountain where the wind hits directly is called the windward side, and the side the wind is moving towards is called the leeward side. When the windward side blocks the wind, a vortex effect is created on the leeward side. The wind spirals in a circular motion, so while the wind direction is one way at the top of the mountain, it changes direction at the bottom. In Los Angeles, this phenomenon played a huge role. The fire started on the leeward side of Palisades, and due to mountain wave rotor, winds were generated in the opposite direction, spreading the fire inland. Once the wildfire gets too large, it can create several unusual phenomena, some of which are very difficult to predict. One of these is called a fire tornado. This is a rare and dangerous phenomenon that happens during intense wildfires. It looks like a tornado, but inside it is only fire. The heat from the fire makes the surrounding air rise rapidly. This hot air moves upwards very quickly, and the cooler air rushes in to fill the gap, creating a rotational motion. This vortex picks up dry shrubs and adds to the fire, making the fire even more dangerous. A fire tornado can overpower the winds in the area, creating its own air movement, which makes it hard to predict. Most of the time, it spreads the wildfire up the mountain. Wildfires are a reality, and because of climate change, they are expected to occur more frequently in the coming years. These fires are now monitored using artificial intelligence, which helps predict the direction of fire spread. This information is then shared with the firefighters. Firefighters try to spray chemicals around the fire to prevent it from spreading, but in Los Angeles, whenever they controlled the fire in one area, the winds would spread it to another place. The first recorded wildfire in the history of America occurred in 1871 near Michigan. This fire burned 1.2 million acres and killed 2,500 people. From the 1871 Peshtigo fire to today's Los Angeles wildfire, nature is showing us that controlling fire is still almost impossible. But if we try to understand nature, and instead of fighting climate change, work with it, perhaps we can stop the cycle of wildfires. We hope you like and share this video. Thank you for your kind comments, and we'll meet again in the next amazing video.